Okay, so let's start this morning on your back. And so just come into, you can choose. You can come into corpse pose, Shavasana, or you can come into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle with your feet together and your knees open. That's what I'm going to choose. And I just want you to land here. I want you to find your points of connection. The outside edges of your feet connected to the mat. The soles of your feet connected to each other. Feel your sacrum, your glutes connected with the mat. You're going to have a nice little curve in your low back. So that's not going to be connected, but your shoulders are. And you can have your hands open, arms open with palms up if you want. Or you can make a couple different connections with your hand, left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly. And just settle in here. Keep your eyes open and find your drishti, find your gaze up into the sky or up onto the ceiling wherever you are. And just allow yourself to settle right here. Just notice what's going on in your body. Notice where you feel sensation of any kind. And just invite yourself to not call it tight or loose or bad or good. Just notice where there's sensation. And then bring your awareness to your breath. You might choose just the rise and fall of your chest. You might choose the feel of air going in and out of your nose. You might choose the expansion and contraction of your belly. Just notice that subtle, smooth change as you breathe in. Just a few more rounds. Just keep your focus there. If your mind wanders, just gradually bring it back to your breath. Maybe you find a cloud in the sky or a leaf on a tree or a spot on the ceiling that you can just look at and allow yourself to be present. And then set an intention for practice today if that feels right for you. And take a breath into it. And then slowly pull your knees up into your heart. Give yourself some time here. Maybe those hamstrings or glutes are a little bit tight. Just bring your knees in. If you can, wrap your arms around and squeeze them in a little bit more. Lift your head up towards your knees and begin to roll forward and back. And maybe your feet touch the mat. Just roll about 5 times. Just making your back as curved as you can to facilitate that rolling forward and back. And when you go back the next time, as you come up, find your Navasana, your boat pose. So I'm going to start here with my legs supported, my knees bent, my heart lifted. So draw into your belly here. So you can expand a little bit more, extend your arms up, straighten your legs, whatever you want. So find something that has some ease, a quality of ease into it. Lift your heart, open your heart. Yeah, hands go wherever they're going to go. And then slowly, with a big exhale, lower back down into canoe. And then inhale back up into whatever version of boat you choose. Just a couple more. Slowly lower down. Build in some core integrity. Come back up. Last one. Come down. Come back up. Pull your knees in your chest. Roll back. And roll all the way over. Find yourself in downward facing dog. Press your hips up, press your heels back and your heart back. All 10 fingers and your palms press into the mat. Press your heels down. Maybe you walk your dog just a little bit. Each time, really pressing those heels down, beginning to bring some stretch into your calves. Is where you're probably going to feel it first, then your hamstrings. Then bend your knees. Press your heart back to your thighs. Really lengthening your arms. It's important here to ground in all 10 fingers and your palms. Draw your belly in, heart back, and then keep your hips where they are. Press your heels into the sky as your tailbone, or into the earth as your tailbone goes up towards the sky. On your inhale, lift your right leg. Listen carefully. On your exhale, swing it over as you shift your arms or your shoulders forward. Tap it outside your mat on the right. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, bring that right foot back down. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, lift up on the left side. On your slow exhale, shift forward. Tap that foot outside your left hand. Keep that leg straight. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, set that left foot down. Inhale, shift forward into high plank. Hold here. Draw into your belly. Shift forward a little bit more. Draw your belly in more. Your pubic bone comes up towards your low ribs. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg again. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose for cheetah. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, bring it across. Right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, right knee to your right elbow for mountain climber prep. Inhale, right leg goes back up. And then exhale, bring that right foot down by your left. Take a breath in. Breath out. Shift forward, high plank. Low plank. Inhale, up dog. Shine your heart forward. Belly comes in, hips lift. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg. Exhale for cheetah. Inhale. Exhale, bring it across, shifting forward each time. Inhale, come up. Exhale, mountain climber prep. Inhale, send that left leg up. And then on your exhale, bring your left foot down to your right. Walk your feet up to your hands. Small steps, bringing some length in your hamstrings. Get all the way to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway. Bring your feet in a little bit closer. Toes can touch or hips distance apart. Feet going straight ahead. Flat back, staring down at the mat. Exhale, fold. Lift up again, halfway. Shoulders onto your back. Exhale, fold. One more time, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your feet out nice and wide, maybe to the edges of your mat. Let your palms rest in the creases of your elbow, or if you want a little shoulder opening this morning, interlace your hands. Lift your arms up off your back, drop your head. The most important thing here is ease in your spine, ease in your neck, and then you can begin to sway a little bit side to side. Yeah, pressing your feet down. As you come to the left side, press that foot in, go away from it. Begin to bring some sensation in your IT bands, on the outsides of your legs, outsides of your thighs. Continuing to drop your head. Moving back and forth like this. You got nowhere else to go but right here. Just noticing the sensation in your legs. 2 more times. And then come back to center. Drop your fingers to the floor. Walk your right hand forward. Bend that right knee. Send your left hand up to the sky. So big stretch in that left hamstring. Lengthening in your spine. Your gaze goes up to the sky if it can, or if that's too much, keep your gaze down on your right fingers. Exhale, bring your left hand down, reach your right hand up. Reverse the process. Straighten your right leg, really bend into that left knee, breathe length into your spine. Send your gaze up or down. And exhale, bring your fingers down to the mat. Set your toes to touch, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise up. Spread your fingers, see the sky. Draw that belly that we've engaged in, and then swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, palm the mat, step or float back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Bring your hips forward as you come into that up dog. Shoulders back, gaze straight ahead. Tuck your toes, press back. Downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat, bend your knees, float, land lightly at the top, lift halfway. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. One smooth motion to the top of your breath, and then exhale, hands to heart center or fold. Halfway lift. Step or float. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Bend your knees, float to the top of your mat. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find your chair pose, thunderbolt. So sink your hips down and back. As your hips go back, your knees come over your heels. Bring your hands, your arms to cactus arms. Press those elbows towards the back of the mat. So draw your belly in, sink a little bit more, and come up on your toes. Sink even more. Now bring your hands to the center of your heart. Twist to your left, to your right. Hook your left elbow outside your right thigh. Hold for a breath. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist the other way. Stand on the balls of those feet. One more breath here. Inhale, come back to that chair on the balls of your feet. Sink your hips a little bit deeper. And then on your exhale, fold forward. Lift up halfway. Exhale, step or float back. High to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. Okay, Carolyn, here's some hip openers beginning now that we have the hamstrings warm. Step the right foot outside your right hand. Spin your left foot now at a 45-degree angle. And then begin to walk your hands forward here. So take your time as you work your way into this pose. Maybe you step this left foot up and out a bit so that you can settle your hips more straight down. That will allow you to walk your hands forward and to the left. So then drop your head, just like we did in ragdoll, and breathe. You feel this in your inner thighs, a little bit in that right hip, and then turn it up by pressing the blade of that back foot even more strongly into the mat. Maybe you walk your hands a little bit farther forward. Continue your breathing. So your drishti, your gaze, is going to go back behind you off the right side of your mat. 2 more breaths. And then stay a little bit more after those 2 breaths. Walk your hands a little bit farther forward. Sink a little deeper here. Keep the length in your spine. Walk your hands inside, both hands inside your right foot. Come up onto the ball of that left foot. Get nice and long right here. Plant your left hand underneath your face. Reach your right hand up to the sky. So up a little lower. Reach up a little bit more. If you want a half bind, you can bring that right hand behind your back. See the sky. Press that left heel back. Right heel into the earth so you're feeling that right glute engage. And then from here, swing that right arm forward, spin the left foot down, come up into warrior 2. Yeah, sink a little bit more here. Now find your drishti, find your gaze, find your breath. So your legs are really active here. Pressing back again through that left, the blade of the left foot, turn your palms up. Allow your shoulders to drop, draw your belly in. Reach back for peaceful warrior. Sink a little bit deeper here. And then find your extended side angle. So bring your right hand down to, or your right forearm down to your right thigh. And take a second here just to connect. Heel connects to the right glute as it presses into the floor. Blade connects to your quad, left quad. And then open your heart, that left shoulder goes back. Extend that left arm over your head. Bicep comes by your ear. Gaze can go down to your right heel or it can go up to the sky. Choose one. Hold here. Couple more breaths. And gently release. Place both hands on the floor, step back into high plank. So roll over onto the blade of your right foot. Come into side plank. You can drop the right knee if you want, lift your left fingertips up to the sky. If you want to lift that top leg, you can do it. For 3. If you want to find any other version of this, you can. 2, 1, and release it. Come back to high plank, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Yeah, hold here for a breath, and then tuck your toes. Press your tailbone to the sky, downward facing dog. So walk your dog a little bit. Just hit the reset button here. Notice yourself in your down dog. If you want a little bit more of a rest here, you can come to child's pose or puppy dog where your hips are just over your knees. Letting your heart open. Jamie, you doing all right? One more breath. Lift your left leg and then step that left foot outside of your left hand. So we're coming into that down dog lunge again. So shift forward so the knee is over your ankle. And then spin your right foot down. Get the grounding to really press the blade back. You know how to do it. And then begin the process of finding the full expression of the pose. So just like on the other side, I'm a little stuck here. So I'm going to bring my right foot up and out just a little bit. And that's going to give me more room. My knee is still over my ankle. It's going to give me a little bit more room to walk my hands forward. Keep pressing into the blade of that back foot. Press the floor or the earth down and away from you. And that's going to allow your shoulders just to sink. Maybe stretch it out a little bit more. One more breath. And then begin to walk your hands back in. Hands come inside the left foot. Right foot, come back up on the blade of that. Get nice and long here. And then plant your right hand. Reach your left up to the sky. The most important thing here is as you drop your hips to lengthen your spine. It's going to allow you to open your heart, settle into that a little bit more. You can find a half bind if that's for you. Eyes to the sky or eyes down to the floor. Drive that right heel back. And then come out, nice and smooth, windmilling your way up to warrior 2 on the other side. So sinking your hips nice and deep here. Your feet are on a tightrope. So I just moved my left foot over into the center of the mat. So it's in front of the arch of my back foot. So I'm going to turn around so I don't have my back to you. So squaring your hips towards the right side of the mat. Extend your arms nice and long. Settle down a little bit more here. Turn your palms up. Settle even more. Now find a sense of ease here. You've got everything engaged. Your feet are engaged, okay? Your belly's engaged. Soften your shoulders. A little bit deeper. Reach back, peaceful warrior. Then find your extended side angle, your version. Forearm to the thigh, or your hand can come down to the floor, or you can bind and fly. Beautiful. Yeah, extending that arm over your head so that the bicep is right by your ear. Lean back, shine your heart up. A couple more breaths. And on your exhale, just release it all the way down. Step back into high plank. This is vinyasa through low plank. Inhale, up dog, heart forward, hips forward. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Shift forward into your high plank. Find your side plank, left side. So left palm, press it into the mat. Find that energy radiating from the earth back up through your arms. Extend that right hand up. You can drop the left knee if you want, or lift the top leg, wherever you are. For 3, 2, 1. Release it. Come back to high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, puppy dog. Plant your knees under your hips. Extend your arms nice and wide. Now bring your hands back up under your shoulders. And we're going to come into frog pose. So I want you to turn sideways on your mat. If your knees are a little bit sensitive, you can double the mat up just under them. And you're going to, what you're looking for here, now I'll turn sideways and show you in a second. But first of all, you're trying to get your knees as far apart as possible, okay? So work those apart. We've opened up those inner thighs a little bit. So work into that sensation. Flex your feet and check back. What you're looking for is a series of right angles. So right angle from your torso to your thigh, from your thigh to your shin, and from your shin to your foot. And then as you set those knees farther apart, just begin to work down. So maybe your elbows come to the floor. Maybe you can walk your arms out, bring your forehead all the way down to the floor. So we're going to be here about 12, 14 breaths, long enough for you to settle in. Use the tools that you established at the beginning of practice. Awareness of breath, and that nice soft gaze, that drishti that's going to go down between your forearms, or maybe your forehead is on the floor, so you're just looking straight into the mat or into the earth. So you can experiment a little bit here with releasing your belly lock. So just let your belly go soft and see if that changes the pose. And then find a sort of softer bonded there, because I want your low back protected, but you don't have to really lock it out on this particular pose. Maybe you walk your hands a little bit farther forward. We're going to be here about 4 more breaths. And then slowly, as if there was any other choice in getting out of this pose, you walk your hands back in under your shoulders and begin to bring your knees a little bit closer and together. And find a child's pose just for a couple breaths, where you're orienting yourself on the mat.
I'm just sitting here crying.
So notice what you created here. I know this is our first child's pose, but my hips are going back a lot farther than normal. Normally my knees and my hips are really tight. So just see what you created with that frog pose and your child's now. Nice and long in your arms. Just one more breath. And then make your way up to seated. And let's find a little cow face pose here, or as close as you can get to it. So bend your right knee, bring that knee directly in front of your body, and then bend your left knee. Stack it on top of the right. Mine will almost get stacked, but not quite. So you can work into that. You've got warm hips. And then what's going to tend to happen is your left sit bone is going to want to jack up. So just shift your hips a little bit to the right so that you've got more even distribution of your weight there. So sit up tall. So I want you to press your heart forward, draw your belly in, and then begin to fold forward. The hack for this, as I've told y'all probably before, is just lean over to your left, look at that knee, and slide in. That's going to get you a little bit deeper. Wherever you go, however you get there, if you feel yourself getting light in your sitting bones, shift some weight back into them. You can do it with pressing the floor down and away from you in front. or you can choose to ground your hands behind you. 3 more breaths. And on your inhale, come all the way up to seated. Take your right hand, place it on that knee, that left knee. Take your left palm, plant it behind your tailbone. Inhale, get tall. And then on your exhale, begin to look back over that shoulder and twist. So about 3 or 4 full breaths, each one really active. Bringing length into your spine as you breathe in, twisting as you breathe out. And come back to center. Good. And let's go the other way. So reverse that process. Left hand on your left knee, right hand behind you. Lift tall. Twist. And make this really active. Draw in here. And don't force anything, but that stability you're creating in your core is going to really enable that twist to go somewhere new. Come back to center. And then you can either just change the stack on your knees, or you can do what Liz loves to do. So you can put your right hand behind you, just walk around, crawl around like this. So you're doing the whole circuit of your mat. And then, lo and behold, that right knee is on top now. It's always sort of fascinated me. So same kind of arrangement. You're going to shift your hips a little bit to your left. So that's going to bring that right sitting bone down. Sit on a block, Danny. Or so roll your mat up and get a little bit of elevation under your hips. It's going to help you.
It feels good now.
All right? Okay.
That's an initial setup.
All right, so tall, and then hinge forward, or slide it over to the right. Now the temptation here is to just jump right in, but these sides are different. And so take your time as you hinge and move forward. Be respectful of those differences. Empower the stretching, power the opening with your breath. Two more breaths here. And then begin to walk your hands back in. We'll do that closed twist. So take your left hand, put it on your right knee, get tall, plant the right hand behind your spine, and twist. Look back over your right shoulder blade, or right shoulder head. And then come back to center. Let's switch sides. Right hand to your right knee, left hand behind you. Look over your shoulder. Still active, still dynamic, length as you breathe in, twist as you breathe out. Nice work. And then come back to center. And then unwrap your legs, roll back onto your back. Find happy baby. So bring your hands to the outside edges of your feet. Press your sacrum down into the mat, your shoulders into the mat. And then from there, begin to pull your knees down. Now begin to find some rolls side to side. So make this big each time you go. So maybe you come all the way over to the left, And then come back through center, all the way over to your right. And then make it smooth and even, about 3 more rounds of breath as you come through this little lower back massage. And then we'll meet back in the center. Come into butterfly, bring your feet together, interlace your fingers outside your feet or on your ankles or your shins, and then pull, send those knees out to the side. Keep your feet flexed to protect your knees, press those feet in even more, lift your heart up, and release it. So from here, let's work on a couple of back bends. I'm not going to stay here long because we did some of this in Jamie's workout yesterday, but I want to combine a little bit of hip opening with a little bit of heart opening and back bending. So bring your feet in close to your glutes, okay? Pointed straight ahead. So check in. My feet want to splay out, so I always have to really be mindful of turning the toes in. For most of us, that's the case. And then just press your palms into the floor and lift up. I know we did this yesterday. Roll your shoulders in and then ease it down. Okay, now from that base, cross your right leg over your left thigh. Ankle's gonna hang off just above your knee. And then we're gonna do 5 nice and slow lifts. And as you lift, you're gonna press that knee down, that right knee down towards the floor to open your heart. So on your inhale, come back down. I said open your heart, I meant open your hips. 2, smooth and easy. 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Find your grounding here. Right foot comes in, toes turn in, and then cross your left leg across, ankle hangs off just above the knee. And then 5, smooth and easy. The more you lift your hips, the more you open your hips. And again, continue to press that left knee down. Two more. And give your knees a big hug, and then roll forward. And come all the way up to seated. And make your way, we're gonna set up into an inversion that's gonna involve a little bit of arm balance, so I'm gonna walk you into it. So find a dolphin pose. So if dolphin pose is new for you, it's the forearms down into the floor, forearms parallel to each other, fingers spread nice and wide. Tuck your toes so it looks almost like a, well, anyway, your knees are down underneath your hips. Tuck your toes and then send your hips up to the sky. So you're going to find a little bit of hamstring stretch here. You're pressing the mat down with your forearms and your hands. And then you're going to walk your feet forward a little bit. Send your gaze forward, and then you can lift one leg nice and high. Set it back down. Lift your other leg, left leg, nice and high. Set it back down. And then you can look ahead. You can stay with that alternating lifting, or you can bring a few hops in right here. I don't have this forearm balance ready. I'm still working on it. I can do it sometimes, sometimes not. So what I would suggest is that you just do a little kick up and then back down, and then with the other foot, up and back down. And maybe you begin at a little bit more air there. About 2 more. And then find your child's pose. Press your hips back towards your heels. Lengthen your arms. Let everything settle back down. And then one more, I wasn't going to do this, but we've got a little bit of time. I want to show you one more inversion, tripod headstand. So It's exactly what it sounds like. 3 points of contact, both hands on the top of your head. So bring your hands down just like they're in regular push-up or down dog position. And then put your head down in front of and between your hands so that the crown of your head, not your forehead, comes down. So crown of your head, you can find it just by placing the base of your palm at your eyebrows. Where your middle finger goes is the crown of your head. So press down here and then come up. So you're supporting your weight with your hands and your head. And you can bring one or both knees to your elbows. Maybe that's where you go today. Or you can extend up. So just playing with that. A couple more breaths. Wherever you are. And then let it go. Or stay if you want to stay a little bit longer. Shift back into child's pose. Walk your hands off the mat to the right side. Bring some length into your left side body. Really settling in on that left hip. Walk your hands back through center. Come off on the other side. Settling the right hip down. Open up through that right side. And come back to the center. Come all the way up to seated. Find your staff pose. You're sitting, your legs are straight out in front of you. Draw your belly in. Reach your hands up. Fold forward. So you're sending your heart forward. Spine straight. And then reach out and grab something. Toes, feet, ankles, whatever it happens to be. Your knees can bend. That's fine. Breathe in long and exhale. Fold. 3 more breaths here. Lengthen as you breathe in. Fold as you breathe out. 2 more. Inhale, come back up. Come into seated tree pose. So bring the sole of your foot, right foot, into the inner thigh of your left leg. Turn your heart so that your sternum faces the center toe on your left foot. Reach up nice and tall, fold forward. If you want a little bit more side body stretch here, you can grab the inside of the foot with the left hand, bring the right hand overhead, right arm overhead. Like this, it's gonna create some opening in your right side body. You're choosing. Inhale, come up. Switch sides. Extend your right leg this time. That left foot comes into your thigh. So engage the leg by flexing the foot. Square up, heart towards your toes, center your toes, lift up, and then fold here. And if you want that side body opening here, right hand comes to the inside of your right foot. Left arm goes overhead. If you're really open, maybe you can reach over with those fingers and get to your toes. It's not me. And inhale, come all the way back up. Straighten your legs out. Make your way into reverse plank. Point your toes towards the bottom of the mat. Lift your heart. And then slowly bend your elbows, settle everything down. Keep your heart open. Slide your fingers in towards your glutes. Bring your elbows into the center of the mat, as close together as you can. And from that foundation, lift your heart. Draw your belly in. Point your toes. Now lift your heart a little bit more. Now I want you to flex your feet nice and hard. Really turn those legs on. Keep your heels where they are. And then as you dig your heels in, press your toes back forward. Find that length that's going to, like a traction, open up the front of your legs, front of your body. Draw your belly in more. Lift your heart up more. Maybe you drop your head. 3 more breaths here. As your shoulders come down behind you, your heart lifts up. And slowly release it. Come all the way down the mat. So there are a lot of different ways you can do spinal stretch. You can bring your knees up and just drop them. You can find eagle legs. The way I'm going to offer it this morning is to pull your right knee up into your heart. And when you get it up as high as it can go, then just drop it to the left side, left side, guiding it with your left hand. Reach your right arm out. So keep that knee up nice and high. Keep your belly button pulled into your spine. Keep both shoulders in contact with your mat. And come back into center. Draw that right knee up nice and tight one more time. And then extend it long. Bring your left knee into your heart. Really pull it in. Work into that space and that heat that you built. And then drop it across your body. Guide it with your right hand. Extend your left arm out to the side. Sometimes you can get a little bit more twist here by sliding that right hip back under your body a little bit more. That left knee then has more space to come towards the ground. It's more important to keep your shoulders, both shoulders on the mat than it is for this knee to touch. Inhale, come back to center. Pull your knees up into your heart. Round your back. And then on your exhale, release everything out to the mat. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just let your belly let go. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out, let your pelvis, your legs, your feet, let them go out to the side. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, let your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your fingers, everything relax down into the mat. One last breath in. Release your head, your face, let your eyes soften, jaw relax. Find a place where you can be still. And let your awareness of your body begin to slip away in the safe place that you've created for yourself. It's time to rest. Shavasana. In stillness, begin to notice your body again. Notice the weight of it pressing into the earth. And notice the feel of the air on your skin, your clothes on your skin. Notice what you're hearing. Just bring yourself back to connection and awareness with your surroundings. And then bring your attention to your toes. Start to slowly move your toes, and your feet, your legs. And then do the same with your fingers, slow movements, your hands, your arms. Take a stretch. Put your arms overhead, point your feet as you stretch your legs. And then roll over onto your favorite side. Pull your knees into your heart. And notice any shift that's taken place, however that's showing up, in your state of mind, in the way you're breathing, the way your body feels. And take a breath to just get clear on what you want to take off the mat from this practice with you. And a breath to get clear on what you want to leave right here. And from that place, keep your eyes closed, press yourself up to a nice seated pose. Cross your legs, sit comfortably, however that works for you. Sit tall and easy. Bring your hands into the center of your heart. Thank you all for being here and for doing something that's truly good for yourselves and good for each other. Thank you for trusting me to lead your practice. Lift your thumb knuckles up to the center of your forehead. We bow to each other and say namaste. Namaste.